everyone, Shauna here. I'm here today to do the sweater weather tag, and I feel like I'm about a year and a half late on this tag, but you know what? It's still beginning of December. Technically it's still fall. Even if it was winter, I still wear sweaters. It is still the time of year where the weather is appropriate for sweater wearing. So you know what? Just calm yourself. It's okay. It's still fine to do the sweater weather tag. I've seen a lot of people do this tag in the last month or so, but the first one that I saw was Ingrid or Miss Glamorazzi. Hers was the first one that I saw about a month ago, so I'm going to be doing the questions that she does in hers. Just so everyone knows, I'll link her video down there. So let's just jump right into the tag. The first question is favorite candle scent, and I am horrible at picking favorites, and I have gone through a lot of candles this fall, like a lot, but I'm gonna have to say that my favorite, if I really had to pick one, is Leaves. This was just I think this was the first Bath & Body Works candle I ever bought and it just smells like fall. It's just like everything that is good about this time of the year. The next question is coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. I pick all three. I honestly love all three of them. Like, I have coffee almost every morning. I have tea before I go to bed pretty much every night, and I will often have a hot chocolate. Tim Hortons now has their candy cane hot chocolates, and there's a Tim Hortons in the same building that I work in, and it's just like, oh. Also, I was at the grocery store last week and I found these candy cane Hershey Kisses, so I was like, yeah, I gotta buy these. And then I made my own hot chocolate. I don't know how you guys make hot chocolate with boiling water, the powder stuff. That's never how I've made homemade hot chocolate. I take a mug and fill it about halfway with chocolate milk and then halfway with white milk and then put it in the microwave. That's how my mom always made hot chocolates for me when I was a kid, and that's just how I like them. And then there's no guessing with powder if it's right or wrong, and anyway, so I made a hot chocolate like that, and then I just put a couple of the candy cane Hershey Kisses in it, stirred it up, and it was like a peppermint hot chocolate, candy cane hot chocolate. It was so good. Oh my goodness. The next question is, what's the best fall memory that you have? I have a couple actually. Every time I see someone do this tag, I think of a new one. So, I mean, the first one I guess would be, when I was little, we had a cottage, and we sold it when my parents split up I think we sold it when I was 12, but before that we had a cottage, and it was winterized, so we spent pretty much every weekend of my childhood, during the school year, every weekend at the cottage. So most of my memories of fall and winter are at my cottage. I have very few memories that are not at my cottage from when I was younger. But our cottage was legitimately in the middle of nowhere, and there was lots of other cottages on our lake, so there were people around, but there wasn't roads. There were dirt roads, there was trees and nature. There wasn't anything else. We were in the middle of nowhere. So I just have lots of memories of hiking through the woods, with my mom and our dogs, and I have this one memory. We were at the cottage, and I always had an overactive imagination, which I still sort of do. I still definitely do. And I decided that we were gonna, I think I must have been learning about pilgrims or something in school, because I decided that me and my mom were pilgrims for the day, and we couldn't use the electricity, and we had to make a fire to keep the cottage warm, and bless my mom for going along with what a weirdo I was, but stuff like that. And always making a campfire at night, and roasting marshmallows by the fire, sitting outside in 4 different coats with every hat that I owned on my head because it was so cold. But heaven forbid we didn't sit outside by the fire every night. The next memory I have is actually a Halloween one, and it was when I was, I want to say 7 or 8. I was in Brownies. So those of you who went through the Girl Guide system in Canada, you have an idea of about how old I was, but I was in Brownies, and we went on this outing. It was right before Halloween. We went on this for a brownie night, we went on this outing to this place called Cullen Gardens. It was in my town. It's closed now, which is really sad, but it was a miniature village, and you just walked around. Anyway, they had it decorated for Halloween, and I remember I was with my mom was one of the leaders, and we were separated up into groups just because there was a lot of kids, and it was easier if each adult had 5 kids or whatever. So I was in my mom's group, and I'd been to Cullen Gardens a million times. I knew my way around there the back of my hand, so I was kind of skipping ahead of the rest of my group, but I knew where I was going. I knew I wasn't gonna lose them, and my mom knew I wasn't gonna lose them, so she was fine. Anyway, so I'm skipping ahead, and I remember there was this shrub, a wall of shrubs on this side, and they had, for the decorations, they taped up these plastic sort of skeleton things up the wall. So I was like kind of like skipping along, like counting the skeletons, and then I got in the road. It went like this, and then there was like a sharp turn where it was like almost like a fork, and it went like that, and then the road stopped and it went this way. So there was like a corner right there, and I got to the corner, and there was someone standing, like there was like a rock right on the corner, and there was someone standing there, and I couldn't tell if it was a real person or if it was like a decoration. So I remember I kind of like stopped in the road and like looked up, was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And it was this guy in costume, and he like moved something, he was like, bleh! And I screamed bloody murder. I was like, ah! Like so terrified. And I like turned around and ran back to my mom and the rest of our group, and everyone was like, what's wrong, what's wrong? And I was like crying. I was so scared. And then I like clung on to my mom, and like bear in mind that I was like 7 or 8. Like having to cling on to your mom was not cool. Like the fact that my mom was like the brownie leader and I had to be like, ugh, my mom is here. Anyway. So I was like clinging onto my mom, like crying, and we like kept walking with the group, and we got to the corner where this guy was, and he was still just like standing there like staring at us, and he like looked at me and was like, and he had like face paint and stuff on, so like that's why it was even scarier. He just like looked at me, like stared me down, and I was just like, I'm actually going to pee my pants. I was so scared. I was just like sobbing, but like he didn't break character, and like I guess that's sort of a good thing, because like if he'd been like, oh, it's okay, like it wouldn't have been scary for anyone else, but I was terrified, and I never went back to Covent Gardens for Halloween ever again. Even when I was like 15 and it was like their last Halloween and they were closing forever, everyone was like, you want to go to Covent Gardens? I was like, not for Halloween, like I won't. That's how I was so scared. Like actually the scariest thing that I think has ever happened to me in my entire life. I won't go into haunted houses or like anything. Like I hate it. Ugh. Like just talking about it is making me scared. And the other fall memory that I have is, this one's kind of sad, but it's also kind of funny. So it's when I was 12. It was Thanksgiving, and in Canada, Thanksgiving is like the second weekend of October. I know in the States it's like the end of November, but in Canada it's the second weekend of October. Anyway, and in the fall of grade 7, my grandma passed away at the beginning of September, my mom's mom, and it was really like sudden, and my grandpa had passed away about 5 years earlier, but my grandma passed away, and it was really sudden, and it kind of like, it really like shook up my mom. Anyway, and my parents had just split up a year before, but that was like, I think the first weekend of October was when my dad sold our cottage. So we used to always go up to the cottage for Thanksgiving, and now we didn't have the cottage to go to, and my grandma had just passed away, so my family wasn't doing anything for Thanksgiving. And I remember my mom just being like, everything that I know about Thanksgiving is wrong. So she was like, well, I don't know what to do. So we just like got on a train and went to Quebec City. I grew up near Toronto, so we took the train from Toronto to Montreal, which was like 4-ish hours. And then we had a layover. To like wait in Montreal, and then we took the train from Montreal to Quebec City, which is like another like 2-ish hours. So it was like, it's 8 hours driving from my house to Quebec City, but on the train, we took the train, so it was like a little bit less, but we just like went to Quebec City, and I'd never been to Quebec City before, and I've now been there like a million times since, because it became like our go-to vacation spot for me and my mom for like, until I was done high school. But I'd never been there at the time, and like my mom knew someone who owned a condo, and they like let us stay there for the weekend for like really cheap. And it was like Thanksgiving weekend. Anyway, we just like explored like old Quebec City and just a bunch of shopping. Anyway, so then it was like Thanksgiving, I don't know if it was the Sunday or the Monday of Thanksgiving weekend, but we were like, we have to have Thanksgiving dinner, like what are we gonna do? And I remember we ended up going out to this restaurant and we ordered pizza and french fries. Like it was, I don't know what kind of, I don't know, it was like an Italian restaurant or something. Someone recommended it to us, but we like went to this restaurant and we ordered like a pizza to share and then like a side order of french fries to share, and we were like, this is our Thanksgiving dinner. And even now, like to me, that's one of the funniest things ever, because it was just like, it was like this year where everything was different. Like we couldn't go to the cottage for Thanksgiving, which we had done, my mom had done for my whole life and as long as she'd been married to my father, I think. And but we didn't have the cottage anymore, so we couldn't do that. And then my family, my grandma had always hosted Thanksgiving. She just passed away a month ago, and like neither of my aunts were ready to take on the task of like hosting Thanksgiving. So we were just like, we have no idea what to do. So we just like hopped on a train, went to Quebec City, and had pizza and french fries for Thanksgiving. And I just like, looking back, like it was really sad, but at the same time, it's kind of like really funny that that's just like how it worked out. The next question is, which makeup trend do you prefer, dark lips or winged liner? Neither. I don't really know how to do winged liner. I don't think I've ever intentionally done winged liner. Someone come teach me. I don't know. And then dark lips, I'm kind of self-conscious about like lip colors that I wear. Like I pretty much just stay with pinks because I know that they look good. Outside of that, I'm like, I don't know, want to look like a vampire. I don't know. So like I don't really do like reds or dark colors, so kind of neither. Next question is best fragrance for fall. I don't know if this is really a fall fragrance. I don't know if fragrances have seasons, but this is the perfume that I've been wearing a lot this month. I mentioned this in my November favorites. It's With Love by Hilary Duff, and this has been one of my favorite perfumes for many, many years. Next question is favorite Thanksgiving food. Pizza and french fries. For like actual like traditional Thanksgiving food though, like nothing really. I mean, I don't eat turkey. I don't, stuffing is like, I could take it or leave it. It doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, potatoes are potatoes, vegetables are vegetables. I like cranberries. Gravy is, I'm probably not supposed to eat gravy because I'm a vegetarian, but I eat it anyway. Like I put it on my potatoes because it just tastes good. I can't eat bread. Like, we don't really do anything. I like dessert. Does dessert count? I don't really know. There's nothing like, for me, Thanksgiving is not really that big of a deal. Thanksgiving, like traditional Thanksgiving food and traditional Christmas food, I could just kind of like take it or leave it. It's more like the people and the atmosphere rather than the food. The food doesn't really do anything for me. The next question is, what is autumn weather like where you live? So I live in Newfoundland, which is one of the provinces in Canada. It's the most easterly province, and it's like relatively north. It's like more north than like Toronto, but it's not as far north as like Labrador and like the territories. I don't really know geography. It's somewhere in there. Usually for the last few years, this is only my 5th or 6th fall living here. Like the first 2 I lived in res and never went outside, had no concept of anything. And every year since then we've had some sort of like hurricane type of like tropical storm type of thing hit St. John's sometime in September to mid-October, and it's been like just a lot of wind and rain, but it's like taken all of the leaves off the trees. So it would go from being like green leaves starting to change color to like 2 days later no leaves at all. So we never really had like the quintessential like nice fall, and this fall we didn't have any type of storm or anything, so like it was actually gorgeous from like mid-September to the beginning of November, maybe even mid-November. Like it was just gorgeous, like so many different colors of leaves, and like they would fall on the ground and it would just be like Tumblr pictures galore. It was so gorgeous, and like it has gotten a little bit colder. I mean, it's Canada, like it's cold, like it's like -6 today. It's cold. The next question is most worn sweater, and I have 2, and one of them is, I'll show it to you. So the first one I have is this one, and this is just kind of like a light brown, taupe-ish, rose gold color, I don't know, of like cropped sweater. I got this a couple years ago when I was in Montreal, and I really like wearing this, but as far as like warmth is concerned, it really doesn't do anything, just because it's like, you know, it's not for warm, it's more for just like looking nice. And the other sweater that I have definitely keeps me warm. It is this cable knit lilac colored sweater. I got this from Old Navy last winter, and I really like it. The next question is must have nail polish for fall, and I'm just gonna pick the one that I'm wearing right now, and it is this Sally Hansen Hard as Nails Extreme Wear nail color in the color Red Carpet, and that's what it looks like. I just did my nails last night, so they looking good, and it's just like a red color with a little bit of sparkle, and I think this will be good for like this late fall into the Christmas season type of color. I don't know if this is like a must-have. This is the first time I've worn it, but I really like it. Next question is football games or jumping in leaf piles. I've legitimately never been to a football game. I have seen Remember the Titans. That is all I know about football. Legitimately all I know about football. So jumping in leaf piles, although I'm not even sure if I've ever jumped in a leaf pile. Maybe when I was a kid at my cottage, because there was a lot of leaves and my dad would rake them. There's no way that I'm an almost 24-year-old adult who's never jumped in a leaf pile. I've definitely jumped in a leaf pile before. Next question, skinny jeans or leggings? I have never worn skinny jeans. I barely even wear normal jeans. I wear some form of legging / yoga pant every single day, unless I'm wearing sweatpants. That's all I wear. Like I have these like fake Lululemon like yoga pant type of leggings, and I wear those pretty much every day, or I come home and wear sweatpants. It's legitimately all I wear. Next question, combat boots or Uggs? Never worn combat boots in my life. I love Uggs. I love my Uggs. I need a new pair. I love them. I'm really hoping I get Uggs, or even fake Uggs, because then I don't really care. They get a little bit gross because they're fake. But I'm really hoping I get a pair of Uggs for Christmas. I got a pair last year of like fake Uggs from Old Navy, and they were my favorite. The only thing I wore on my feet all winter. And then I got a hole in them, so I need new ones. hoping I get those for Christmas. Next question, is pumpkin spice worth the hype? No, I don't like it. No, thank you. Next question, favorite fall TV show? I really like How I Met Your Mother and New Girl. I went back and the first 2 seasons of New Girl are on Netflix and I watched all of them, and I'd never seen season 1 and I missed a lot of season 2. So I watched all of them and I love them. I did a video like a month and a half ago about the fall TV shows that I'm watching, so just go find that. I love TV. I watch everything. Next question, what song really gets you into the fall spirit? I didn't know there was a fall spirit. I like music. I started listening to Christmas music on my iPod the other day. I finally put my Christmas playlist back on my iPod. I take it off when it's not Christmas, so I'm not tempted to listen to Christmas music in July. But I was like, you know what? Finished writing my novel and I was like, okay, as soon as NaNoWriMo is done, it's Christmas. This is just how it works in my brain. So I put my Christmas music playlist back on my iPod and I started listening to that. That's not really fall spirit though. I don't know, like what? I don't know. I didn't know there was a song to get you in the fall spirit. So this has been the sweater weather tag. I'm gonna leave the questions down in the info box below. And I tag all of you to do the sweater weather tag. So you can leave your answers in the comments. Or if you do videos, you can film your answers and just like tell me in the comments that you did the video and I will go and watch it. And that'll make me really happy. Yeah, I think that's about it. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next Vlogmas video, which will be tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.